Well, what to do with Oregon's farms and fields? It's a contentious issue. The rolling hills and dotted trees sprawling the land south of Portland are a battlefield caught in an expanding war between preservation and development. Our news partners at Willamette Week have been looking into the fight over these fields, and this week they published It's Houses versus Trees on a 30-acre parcel in the heart of the Willamette Valley. Joining us to talk about the article is its author, Anthony Effinger. And Anthony, thank you for being on the program.
Hey, how are you?
Good, I'm doing well. In your article, you mentioned a shift in public opinion when it comes to developers. Why is this shift happening?
I think it's because there are so many people living in the street, and housing is so expensive, even with higher interest rates, which should dampen demand. Housing prices are still really high, and there's just a shortage, right? And the cities you hear about doing well on housing policies are the ones that can build. Like I've read so many stories about Houston doing the right thing, right? Because they keep building housing of all kinds. And, a lot of people here would argue that the problem we have is we're not doing that. And one of those people is the governor.
Well, let's tell us right now how Governor Kotek fits into all this. What role has she played in aiding developers' efforts here?
Yeah. So she, when she was Speaker of the House in 2017, she pushed through a bill. It turned out to be Senate Bill 1051, which made it a lot easier to get around some of the local codes that developers get kind of hung up on. And what this bill said was all of these codes had to be clear and objective. Like they had to talk about like feet and inches and, real metrics in order to be enforceable for something called needed housing, right? And the other thing that bill did was it basically called all housing needed housing, right? So it was kind of an end run, if you will, around the local regulations that have been a part of Oregon land use, since SB 100 back in 1973, 50 years ago.
You describe Oregon's fields and farmlands as a war zone of sorts. Walk us through an example, if you can, of one that's being battled over right now.
Yeah, so that's that's the metaphor we use. There's this farm down it's 4 miles from the Capitol in Salem, and it was owned by this family called the Meyer family. One of the sons actually was one of the early owners in Kettle Foods, the potato chip maker, right? And this thing was, the family would gather there every summer for reunions, and it was very much a family affair. And then the patriarch of the family died, and the son who was at Kettle Chips died, and things sort of, got a little ugly. The family started to fight among itself. Some people wanted to sell and cash out, and some people wanted to save the place. And into that kind of battle stepped a developer from Portland named Marty Kehoe, who wants to build 125 houses on this 30-acre plot. And that's where we are now. It's in the courts, and it's in the Salem, it's in the Salem City Council.
We'll follow that one for sure. Anthony Effinger, thank you for your time. We appreciate it very much. And you can read the entire article in the latest edition of Willamette Week on newsstands now or online at wweek.com.